I'm just singing some Super Mario Odyssey music. Oh man, I'll tell you what. I was having a I was talking to Matt Williams last night. These past few weeks have just been so brutal from a business perspective, and I said it on the channel before, so don't feel sorry for me. It happens. I had like 3 epic months in a row, so like it's all gonna even out in the end. But man, after 3 epic months in a row, I was feeling like, man, I'm an expert. I'm a total expert at this business. I'm gonna make $1 million. And then like you hit like 3 weeks in a row of just failure, and it humbles you quick. So it's been rough. And so something else happened this morning, and I'm just like, oh, when is this gonna end? And then I go upstairs, and my son gives me a card. He wrote me a card out of the blue, and it's one of the funniest cards I've ever seen. That's why I'm thinking about Mario. So first of all, it says, "To Dad." And if you open it up, that is a chain chomp from Mario. You might remember it from Mario 64, the Bow Wows. And on the other side, that's another Bow Wow. I don't know if you can read this, but it has another Bow Wow. And it says, "Hope you have an eating day." Because the chain chomps eat. Hope you have an eating day. Nothing like your sons or your kids to help you through tough times, man. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, so this is the thing about my business. It's like sometimes things are going really well, sometimes things are going really bad, but you've always got a few irons in the fire. So like there's other things, smaller deals that are like doing okay, and then like but the big deals, the big money makers, whew, it's just brutal. So we're just gonna power through. We're gonna keep charging forward. And this made me feel really good. Hope you have an eating day. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I'm going to eat today, that's for sure. Anyway, I wanted to just do a quick kind of live response video to Duke Kwon. Duke Kwon is just, man, he's a pastor. He's technically a pastor in a Presbyterian church, but boy, he's one of the most craziest people in the woke church movement. By far. Oh, before we get into this, let me just say this. I also got the cover to my book. We've decided what the cover to the book is going to look. And let me just say this. If you've seen the cover to Woke Church by Eric Mason, you're going to love this cover. That's right. I think Eric Mason's going to love this cover. I think he's going to find a lot to like about the cover of my book. The author of Woke Church, Eric Mason, is going to really like the cover to my book. That's all I'll say right now. I was talking to a person who will not be named. He's a known figure, and I trust his opinion on design and like aesthetics. And I said, hey, which cover would you choose? And he picked the certain cover. He actually picked the one that I like the best too. And then he said, but between you and me, AD, he said, if it was me, I would just put a big picture of Rachel Den Hollander on it and call it a day. I was like, man, that's funny, but she's a lawyer, so, she'd sue me. Definitely, she'd sue me. But anyway, let's get into Duke Kwon as we go into the weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm hoping to have a good weekend, too. And I'm hoping come Monday to start a brand new chapter in AD's life of success at business instead of failure. But anyway, let's talk about this. This is Duke Kwon. Yikes.
I think we don't do this with Duke? Any other issue or any other kind of need except race-related needs.
Okay.
I actually think there is demonstrable generosity and quickness to care for wounds and without asking this question of personal culpability. But when it comes to racial wounds, thefts, robberies, we get kind of bent out of shape. And I think
I wonder what the difference is there, Duke. I mean, I see somebody bleeding on the floor and he's hurt and he's like, oh, my leg. And I'm like, oh, I want to help him. I mean, it doesn't matter if it was my fault or not. You're bleeding on the floor, right? And I wonder what the difference between that and, hey, you owe me money. And it's like, well, what do you mean, sir? I don't owe you money. Well, you owe me money because you're white. Like, I'm not giving you money because I'm white. Like, are you crazy? Like, is there a difference there, Duke? I mean, I don't know. Like, on one hand, there's a man suffering and he's bleeding and dying. And on the other hand, there's a guy pointing in my face like this saying, you evil white person, give me cash. I don't know. I mean, it strikes me as it might be slightly different, which is probably why you get the slightly different response, Duke. But let's see what the crazy side of this debate says about this.
We collectively respond differently to this issue than we do others, and in our context differently than we would in other contexts.
There's no question about that, because
hey, white man, white guy. Hey, don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to me that way. That's an aggression. I'm a Latino. I'm Latinx. You can't talk to me that way.
I can hand out Thanksgiving turkeys, and it doesn't require any sort of like movement of renunciation on my part. I think the what I sense in this conversation.
What I sense in this conversation, white guy, because you got to let the Latinx speak first. So know your role, white guy. What I sense is that there's a key difference there as well. When you're handing out Thanksgiving turkey. Why did he say Thanksgiving? Is that like a dialect? He said, I can hand out Thanksgiving turkeys. That's kind of a weird thing to say. I don't know. It must be a white thing. I don't know. But when I'm handing out Thanksgiving turkeys, it's just out of generosity, out of love. It's just like, hey, you don't have any food? Let me give you some food. Because that's actually what Christ said. Is if you don't have food, or I'm sorry, if you do have food, share it with someone who doesn't. That's actually what a Christian ought to be doing, because that's what Christ told us to do. See, a Christian follows Christ's commands, and Christ said, it's very simple. If you have food, and that includes Thanksgiving turkeys, and you could share those Thanksgiving turkeys with someone who doesn't have a Thanksgiving turkey. And it's like, okay, simple, easy. But you see, those people aren't like simultaneously saying, dude, you evil white man, you bigot, you enslaved me and my ancestors and you hate me, and I don't even know you, but I know you're evil because you're white. Now give me a Thanksgiving turkey. You owe me. Reparation turkey. That's a slight difference. Slight difference, white man. Now that I've said my piece, I'll allow you to speak to me.
That happens about
lower your voice when you speak to me.
It's a need for exoneration.
Yeah.
It's like an exonerative impulse.
It's an exonerative impulse. Like yeah, you know, it's like if somebody accuses you of something and you didn't do it, like if it like you don't have to exonerate yourself. You just admit that you did it. It's like, this is so insane. It's like you have a need to exonerate yourself. Yeah, because you're accusing me of something I didn't do. It's not like you're just bleeding on the floor. It's not like you just don't have food and I'm expected to share it with you because I do have food like Christ commanded. It's like you're saying you did something to me that I didn't do to you. So yeah, I'm trying to exonerate myself. If somebody tells me that I stole $100 from them and I didn't steal $100 from them, I'm going to say, hey, wait, dude, I didn't steal $100 from you. That's not evil. Yeah, I'm trying to exonerate myself. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, what is like the goal here? Just to accept any claim against you? Like, that's not how it works. I just don't understand. Like, this is such a basic difference, but these two crazy people are over here like, it's just exoneration. I mean, I just don't know. By the way, I didn't like the tone he took with me. I don't know who this guy is. It's Thompson something. I don't know. He strikes me as kind of racist because I didn't like the tone he just took with me.
Wait a minute. We do believe in Jesus, right? Where our life is in him, and all that we have is found in him. And I don't need to be exonerated from anything. What I need to do is respond to the world as I find it with love. And
all right, Greg, let's try this out. Let's try this out. If anyone wants to tag Greg, go right ahead and tag him. I don't care. I say don't do that. But let's try out this theory, Greg. Okay? Because you wouldn't want to be exonerating yourself, right? Like seriously, you're in Christ, right? Like you believe in Jesus, right? So, okay, Greg, dude, you owe me $10,000. You owe me $10,000. Remember, I'm Latinx. I've got Africans in my ancestry. You owe me $10,000, Greg. Now, you're in Christ, right? So you don't have to exonerate yourself, right? So I'll give you my email address, and you can PayPal me $10,000. If you don't, then you're just as bad as these people that you're criticizing because I said so. I'm Latinx. You know what I mean? I'm Latinx. So let's try out this theory, Greg. Or is it just good for everybody else, but not for you? Let's try it out. I mean, go ahead and tag him if you know him, and see if he PayPals me $10,000. It's you can PayPal me at ad@adrobles.com. PayPal me $10,000. It'll be easy. It'll be so easy if you just do it.
I think that part of the particular aversion to having grown-up conversations around this particular issue is because we can intuitively sense that our own standing is at stake.
Yeah, Greg, your own standing is at stake, you evil bigot. Now, if you don't give me $10,000 that you owe me, that's tantamount to saying that you can't even have an adult conversation about it. So like AD at adrobles.com, my PayPal stands ready. And if you can't get it to there, maybe we can work some other arrangement out. I've got Cash App. I'll even take Bitcoin. I'll send you my Bitcoin wallet, and you can send me $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. What is that, like 0.00001 Bitcoin at this point? I don't know. I don't know how many Bitcoins. Not that many. But yeah, let's see it, because you'd like to have an adult conversation about this, right? Right, G. Thompson? So like let's do it, because like you're like in Christ, right?
Right.
That's right. And
it's right for Duke too. So, well, I guess Duke doesn't owe me money. I mean, he's another form of minority. So I guess, you know what? I'll make it easier on you, Thompson. You give Duke half of the money. You give him $5K, and then you give me $5K. Because like you don't want to like exonerate yourself, right? Like you owe me.
let's lay down this bottom line too. There's no person in America that in one way or another, directly or indirectly, is not a beneficiary of white supremacist theft, right?
There it is. There's the big one. There is no person in America that in one way or another, directly or indirectly, is not a beneficiary of white supremacist theft. Excuse me a minute. Not bad. Not bad. Now, I think I have to assume he meant no white person in America. Because if he actually meant no person in America, that would probably even everything out and they wouldn't get to complain about things, because I guess all blacks and Latinx and Asians and, whatever, they've all benefited from white supremacist theft. So I have to assume he meant no white person. But maybe he didn't, because this is all psychotic anyway. So maybe he didn't mean that. I don't know. This is all made up, obviously. So I'm trying to decipher a fake language here, But that's a pretty wild statement. He could never prove it, obviously. It's not biblical in any way. Like, if you notice, like, the Bible, it's so simplistic. Like, the book that I wrote, it's almost like I almost felt embarrassed sometimes, like, because the things I'm putting forward, and I know I have a way of organizing it that people find helpful, and I'm not calling you stupid or anything like that. So like I know that I've got a skill in doing that, but like it almost seems too simple. Like sometimes I think to myself, AD, you must be missing something, but I'm not. It's like God's commands are simple. That's the whole point. He says it. My burden is easy. My yoke is light. It's simple. It's a very simple thing. I can easily tell you what charity looks like, right? I can easily tell you. You don't need these complicated, algorithms to figure this out. It's easy. Ready? If you have food, share it with someone who doesn't. If you have clothing, share it with someone who doesn't. There it is. That's it. But Duke Kwon over here is trying to do a complex formula how there's no person in America, whether indirectly or directly, has not benefited from white supremacist theft. And like, what do all these words mean? Well, he doesn't really know. It's just rhetoric to him, and it's just insane. This is a fantasy. I'm trying to interpret fantasy world here, and it's impossible to do. So it's like, it's crazy what he's saying. So does he mean no white person in America? I think that's what he means, but maybe he just means no person because he's doing complex algorithms in his head that make no sense. So who knows what he's saying?
It's the very nature. It's the very nature of things, and it's the very history that we continue to live in, the legacy of this.
It's just the nature of things. It's like, it's just white supremacist theft. It's just like the nature of things. This guy's funny. If you ever watch this guy preach, like I would suggest it. Watch Duke Kwon preach, especially if he's talking about social justice. It's really funny. Watch him preach, and then right after you watch him preach, watch the James, what's his name, the Jamestown guy. Watch that guy preach. What was the guy's name? The one who was the cult leader that everyone drank the Kool-Aid? The Jamestown guy, like Jonestown. Bob Jones, Bib Jones, something Jones, Jonestown. Watch this guy preach and then watch the Jonestown guy preach. They sound identical. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to have a great weekend. I think. We'll see. God willing, I'll have a great weekend. And I hope you enjoyed this. I'm not going to finish. There's only a few seconds left, but it's just nonsense anyway. Anyway, hope you found this video helpful. God bless.